Let's talk to one fan who is probably a little bit more well-known than others, who signed the petition. Graeme Hawley, former Coronation Street star and current love and marriage star, I have to say. Graeme, morning. Thanks for being with us.
Hello, Shane. How are you doing? You all right?
Good, thank you. What's prompted you to sign this petition?
I literally just came across it by accident yesterday when I was just looking through. I always have a look through in the morning first thing to see what misery Coventry City are going to pile on me on that particular day. And sort of through it, and at the time I think it had just gone up and it only had a couple of hundred signatures on it. But I was really pleased that somebody's done something on this side, because I know people kind of debate the differences of how much good a petition does, and under these circumstances, whether it's something that CSU and Coventry City at the moment don't strike as massively as people who particularly listen to petitions. But I do think it's an opportunity that hasn't been there before for Coventry fans to all sign something and to realise that everybody feels the same way, and to see that come down, because I think the fact that it got 2,500 signatures in its first day is amazing, really.
It's about pulling disparate groups together as well, isn't it? All in the same. I mean, we were talking to the Fans Trust, who, of course, their board voted. I think it was almost unanimously, if not unanimously, to not support this idea of moving the club out of the city.
Yeah.
Their members voted exactly the same, and of course now we've got this petition as well. But we were talking to the lawyers about an hour ago on the show for ACL, and they're saying, this idea and this statement saying that the club were locked out of the ground is just not true.
Well, I mean, I would believe that. I think probably most people would. There's no reason why they would lock them out of the stadium in that sense, is there? I'm sure that everybody at ACL and everybody at the Rico desperately wants Coventry City to be playing at the Rico, because they need to be playing at the Rico. It makes business sense for them as well, doesn't it? But I mean, it's difficult, because I don't want to get into that age-old thing that we all keep having to do of going, is it all CC's fault? Is it all CC's fault? I think this goes even beyond all that. The point is just the idea of Coventry City playing outside Coventry City is unthinkable for most people, and the petition obviously shows that. To get 2,500 people in the first day signing up, I think people are appalled at the idea that Coventry City might play outside Coventry City.
I know it's only guesswork, but it is quite a shocking suggestion, as you rightly say. And we wanted the club won't join us on the show this morning, so I can't actually tell you what their motivations are. But when you look at it, I mean, is there something that you kind of think, oh yeah, I can see why they would do that kind of thing. I can see, that kind of makes sense that they would say that. Or are you like a lot of people? Are you kind of bewildered as to why they would want to try and throw this into the mix?
Well, I mean, I'm not bewildered in that I understand that what they're trying to do is to make very clear their threat that they build another ground and they go somewhere else and they would end their relationship with the Rico. It continues down this line, doesn't it? For ages now, they've both been trying to outthink each other and try and stay one step ahead of each other, haven't they? And in this whole process, you got a group of fans who are sitting there who support a football club who had just been completely used appallingly by both sides to an extent, and they really have been badly used. And that's why I think the petition is good, because I do think it's time now that the fans have to. The point is, the biggest thing that I think about, I know this is not going to happen because it would require too much of a swell to do it. But if every person in Coventry was to sign that petition today, then I can guarantee you 1,000% that at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, ACL and CC would be sat around a table talking about how they were going to sort it out. Because if they knew that nobody was going to walk into that stadium unless there was a deal done, and if they knew that nobody was going to buy a season ticket unless a deal was done, they'd do a deal, because they'd both go out of business without us, wouldn't they?
The interesting thing is, though, and again, the lawyer's talking to me about an hour ago, and one of the things that he was saying was, he made the point, he said, I'm not really even sure why we're still talking to the club, because as far as we're concerned, they've gone into administration.
Yeah.
And, we should be talking to the administrators, and where are the administrators in all of this? And we're going to try and chase that up as a line as well. But, of course, that's holding everything up now, Graeme, isn't it? Because fans can't move on, can they? Because while, as you say, these two sides are entrenched and locked in this kind of battle to the death, the fans are stuck on the sidelines watching it all, thinking there's nothing we can do.
Well, yeah, and they are right. That side of it is all very confusing. I don't really understand. I don't really understand why Tim Fisher even has a point to make at the moment, because I don't have a massive understanding of administration. But I thought the point was that the administrator was running the club at the moment. So surely, if anybody's having discussions with Rico about where Coventry City are going to play next year, it should be the administrator.
When you go to a home game, the fans they sit round you and you have a conversation about it, or you talk to your mates about it. What is the general consensus at the moment? I mean, obviously, I'm really getting a sense of that, the desperation from fans that there is no end in sight, and where is it all going? You're being dragged along by this kind of runaway argument. But what are they saying to you? What kind of conversations do you have at the moment?
I think everybody's. It sounds like a simple thing to say, but I just think everybody's had enough, Shane. Yeah. I think they've completely had enough now, and everybody's desperate to talk about football again. Really. Yeah. And it seems like for as long as we can remember now, for over 2 years now, all we've done is talk about problems that are going off on the pitch. There's rarely a conversation that even happens about the football team, and that's a real shame in the sense that if it wasn't for everything else that had gone on this season, it was a decent season this year, and it was almost a really fantastic season. If it wasn't for 10-point deductions and problems as a result of that, then we would have been able to talk about football. And that's all anybody really wants to do, is they just want to turn up, go to the match, watch their football team, hopefully get their football team back on track and getting back to where they want it to be. And it's just not happening at the moment, because there's all these different groups all fighting with each other over the football club. And everybody's made that point before, but it's just to make that point again. But all of this is just, I find it so disrespectful to all the fans that turn up to that club. But the only thing that I think those people can do now is, because you just felt totally powerless in the whole process, and I think now is the point where everybody has to realise that as a group of fans, we're not powerless. There's 8,000 or 10,000 people who turn up to that football club every week. They have a tremendous amount of power, because if they don't turn up to that football club don't have a business. And it seems like the most unthinkable thing in the world to do. And no football fan ever wants to not go to a football match, because it feels wrong, and you feel like the whole point of a football fan is to be there and to support your club. But I think what has to happen now is that the fans have to stand together and use their power as being the financial input into that club, and go, this is it, we've had enough now. Graeme,
good to talk to you as always. I miss you from Coronation Street. And I know Fizz does, she might be with Tyrone now, but
you can see there's a little look in her
She's
eye,
thinking of John Stape, you can tell, can't you? Absolutely, yeah. Good luck with love and marriage, we're looking forward to that as well.
Thanks very much.
You take care, great to have you with us. It's Graeme Hawley there, former Coronation Street star.